I have made a commitment to myself and to you. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to get everything right, but I will present you my opinions based solely on my interpretation of facts that are available to me at any given time. New information can come in, something else can come up. I might have missed something. That is all plausible, but I will always present you my honest interpretation of facts, free from any influence, however I see the world. So, in the wake of Henry Nowak's death, the Sikh community has come out and they're saying that they feel unfairly targeted. They feel that they are scared to go out. Although a lot of Sikhs are justified in thinking that way because the mood in the Western world, especially in the UK, is changing. And let me give you my honest opinion. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. If anything, it is going to go more and more towards the right. And the people who are used to getting special privileges, that culture is going to change. Even though, let me make this abundantly clear, that Sikhs are much better behaved in the UK, at least. I know in Canada, people have said it's completely different. So let's just stick to the UK. In the UK, Sikhs are underrepresented in Britain's prison population. Sikhs have done a lot of charity work above communal grounds. So they wouldn't just look out for other Sikhs. They would give food to homeless people, unlike some other community. And they are obviously much better behaved. They behave much better than the other elephant in the room. Having said that, it still doesn't mean that people deserve special privileges. That age is over. That era is coming to a rapid end. And let me say that again. Sikhs have come out and apologized. Let me quickly play you this video.
On behalf of the entire Sikh community, our condolences go out to the family of Henry Nowak and his loved ones and friends due to the tragic loss of life that occurred on the 3rd of December 2025.
It was a tragic news to hear such a young person lost his life to a victim of a senseless and brutal murder at the hands of Vikram Digwa. Now, this crime has been reported in the media over the last 2 weeks. He was convicted of murder and he was sentenced today for 21 years. Right.
So it's a long video clip. I'm not going to play the entire video clip, but they have unconditionally apologized. But at the same, well, actually, it's not unconditional because they're saying that we should not be punished for one Sikh's actions and our special privileges should not be taken away. The other side, the Patriots side, is saying that we are not punishing you. We are simply ending the culture of giving special privileges. Completely different ways of looking at it. And they're saying that the natives are not allowed to be angry. And let me show you. Okay, now that I've shown you the good side, but it's not all rosy, okay? Let me show you the bad behavior of some Sikhs who are foolishly acting out. You don't have the numbers on your side. If you think that you can act tough and you can gaslight the British public, I'm sorry, guys, you're in for a big, big surprise. And there's no point in teaming up with Muslims because Muslims are trying their absolute best to team up with other brown, to create a united brown or non-white front and say, hey, look, we're all victims. Let's stick together. So that's not going to work out because even if all of you get together, it's not going to work out. Again, I'm talking about cultural divides, okay? Because we live in a multicultural world, yeah? There was no attempt made by the establishment in any of our Western countries to force these people to assimilate. I saw a tweet by some Sikh advisory, some Sikh group. They were saying that some of us are fourth generation Sikhs in the UK. Our great grandfathers fought. Even our grandfathers were born in the UK. And my initial reaction was, so you've been in the UK for 4 generations and you have still maintained your Sikh identity and you haven't assimilated? It's not an attack on Sikhs as much as it is an attack on British society itself. Why would you think that people can maintain their distinct identity over 4 generations, for 75 plus years, and they still don't assimilate? You still don't force them to assimilate, find some common ground? No. So as a result, this is what's happening. Have a look at this. This guy is speaking with a British accent. He's a Sikh. He felt, this is how brazen these people are. He thought that he can call in to national radio. This is LBC. And he can say this without any repercussions. And let me tell you, there are no repercussions. There is a blowback. There will be a cultural repercussion. Calls like these, or the behavior of Sikhs like these, is restarting a new cultural movement, which is pride in your national identity, which is pride in your British roots, and putting British values at the forefront of everything. Listen to this guy. He calls in to LBC.
You know where I'm going now, don't you?
Go on.
I'm going to my local Gurdwara to make sure no one comes near that space, and I'm going to protect the perimeter. And I am a trained person. And if anyone brings any violence towards my house and my house of prayer, it's going to be extreme and utter violence.
Well, we've had the Sikh. Well, I mean, obviously, I need to tell you that is obviously against the law, but we need
yes,
to.
It is.
We need
defending yourself isn't.
Well, of course, but I mean,
actually, I think it is. But isn't that the problem? In Australia, for example, we've been asking for castle laws, which means that if someone breaks into my house and I use extreme force, injure or kill him, then I should not be held accountable. Whereas currently, if someone breaks into our house, and I'm assuming it's very similar in the UK as well, that if someone breaks into your house and you fight back, then you could go to prison if the invader is arrested. So no, self-defense, I think, is punishable, or at least if it's the white person.
Let's hope that this doesn't spill out into people attacking Sikhs.
Well, I hope, I agree with you, but as I say, as a British citizen, as an ex-serviceman that is proud to serve my country, I am absolutely raging with what I'm seeing at the moment.
Is there a problem with his use of word rage? Because when Nigel Farage said cold rage, which actually means just be quiet, don't do anything, just hold that, just make a mental note of that and do not let it slide. That's what cold rage means. It's the most sophisticated way of expressing disagreement.
How stupid are people to be listening to people like this that just want the destruction of this country? Now, whilst Nigel Farage sits back with a glass of red wine,
he has a right to be angry. He has a right to be angry, doesn't he?
Not over the father of Mark Nowak, the actual father of Henry Nowak,
yeah,
who requested that please do not make this about Sikhs.
Yeah, he didn't say that, and even he did say that let's not divide our communities further. But I'm sorry, it's actually not up to him. It's actually not up to him. If I get killed by radical Muslims, and if my Muslim family says, "Oh, please don't see that as an attack on Muslims," and please don't. No, I want you to be angry about my death. Okay, we live in a society. We're all connected to each other. Therefore, we can form our independent opinions. Now, I do understand we don't have to. We have to be mindful of Nowaks' family. And we should pay respect, and we should be sensible. We should be sensitive over all this. But we can make a cultural point above Henry Nowaks' father's opinions. We can, absolutely can. There's nothing wrong with that. We can use that as a wake-up call and say something's seriously wrong. Something is seriously broken with our society. Our bureaucracy, our leaders, our police force, everything is infected with anti-white racism called DEI. Diversity, equity, not equality, equity.
Do not make this about the Gurban. Do not make this a violence, and I don't want my son's murder to be seen as this.
Yeah, okay. You took that, but then he feels that it's okay to call into a radio show and make violent threats. Okay, that was nothing, actually. Let me play you another one. Look at this. A group of Sikhs on a live stream were recorded discussing the murder of Henry Nowak. They said he deserved it. So there are some people, at least a previous caller that I told you, he was defensive over his Sikh identity, but he wasn't picking on Henry Nowak. There are some people online who are actually supporting Henry's murderers. They said he deserved it. They said his grave should be pissed on. They said, I don't know what that means. Chad, get bang. I don't know what he means by that. These are Sikhs in the UK. Have a listen.
Normally, I disagree with you, Bobby, but on this occasion, I'm going to have to agree with you a little bit, And this guy here, he's wearing a turtleneck. Like, when people are wearing turtlenecks, they mean business, man.
Exactly, brother, exactly. You wouldn't get normal people wearing turtlenecks like.
What the hell? I've got a turtleneck. What are they insinuating? Does it mean that if you wear turtleneck, then you're out there to... Well, does that mean something? Like you're out there to hurt brown people, or you're racist or something? What does that mean?
That over a shirt with a tie.
Stone Island.
Yeah,
It's very businessy, very smart, and that's scary. If someone like that threatens you, it's serious, man.
He's a young skinny boy. He's barely 18. You freaking... Oh.
I don't know if you noticed, but if you look at his eyes, he's very, very cold.
Oh
his
my
eyes...
God, his eyes are very cold too. The look in the eye. There was a sinister look in the eye. That's why I stabbed him. What the hell?
I like, he's looking in the mirror. He's flicking his hair.
Sinister.
It wasn't... Sinister. Look, I didn't get the right vibe from that. And I suspect the police were thinking twice about releasing that video because it didn't show this little boy who's looking in the mirror, getting ready to go out. It looked like he was ready to go out to kick off.
This guy looks like he's about to go and kick off.
And that Digby was the first guy that he saw, and, he just didn't realize that Digby Singh was armed.
What the Kirpan is for, to fight oppression,
This is what the Kirpan is for. This is what we're saying. Take the Kirpan away from Sikhs. Doesn't matter. If I'm not allowed to carry a knife or a gun, then these people should not be allowed to carry a Kirpan either. Otherwise, in the moment, anyone can say, oh, you know what? I've been attacked. I've been racially vilified. Whatever. Everyone is righteous in the heat of the moment. And they say, well, they can use it. That's the whole logic behind taking guns away from people in the UK and Australia, that people can, in the heat of a moment, people can lose their composure and they can use it and then may regret it later on. But in the process, will end up losing people. That's the logic behind that. So why would you extend this exemption to another group? Why? Take the Kirpan away.
This is what it's all about. So...
Rumor has it that they played a football match the day before and they lost the football match. Like a university tournament, so they lost the match as well. The football match.
So see how they're creating a narrative that he was pissed off?
So maybe just wanted to take out someone.
Really? That would make sense. Something dumb. Something really, really dumb. Guys, press 1 if you think the Singh was in the right. Press 2 if you think the Singh was in the wrong and Henry was in the right. So 1 if you believe that Singh was in the... Which way did I say? Fucking, I've lost my...
So I think you can't see that here. I saw another video where you'll see everyone was going 1. Everyone was putting 1. So this is how some Sikhs are responding. This is Bobby Singh. I think this is that guy. Look at him.
So it's like the sword of a warrior. So I unplug it. And there it is. Yeah. And that's perfectly fine in the UK. No issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah. It shouldn't be perfectly fine in the UK. Take that away. And look at this. This is how they're acting. Again, not all of them. This is how Sikhs are acting. And it is up to the good Sikhs in the UK to call these violent Sikhs out. It's their responsibility. Otherwise, if they look the other way and say, hey, we don't have to apologize, we don't have to mind our own community, then don't come crying when the natives tee off at you too, as they have against the Islamists. Look at this. Look at this retarded Sikh.
We are pumped up, ready for anything.
Look at this.
There's nothing that we cannot do.
Huh?
Call some. Here, and here. Everything.
I think he's obviously in North America. So I think these people are going through the F around stage. And if they keep it up, then they're going to find out very soon that 70 to 80% of the UK, 70% of the UK is still white, still British. And I'm sorry, every culture is out there for itself. Look at this. A huge gang of Sikhs surround a white British man's home and they demand him to apologize. This should never happen in someone's own country. I should never have, like if I'm in Australia, you should never have a gang of Nigerians or Sikhs or Muslims turn up at an Australian person's house and demand an apology. Basically, this is demanding an apology under duress. Look at this. Look at this thuggery.
You touch his feet, yeah? You touch his feet.
Touch his feet.
Apologise. No, touch his feet and fucking apologise.
They made him touch his feet. A white man humiliated in his own country because, you know why that is? Is because white people don't act like this. I have a feeling they're going to start acting like this. You should. I'm sorry, you should. Nobody's going to come for you. Nobody's going to protect you. You've seen what happened to Henry Nowak. And it's going to keep going in that direction because, again, we have lefty woke politicians who swung the pendulum way too far to the left. We need to bring it down. We need to first bring it to the middle and then maybe bring it a little bit to the right, okay? A lot of people tell me, Harry, what's going to happen if it goes all the way to the right? Well, we'll bring it back then. Maybe this is how civilizations have always worked. We have always thought that our growth is always linear, and sometimes it goes flatline, and then sometimes it goes up, and our morality goes up and up and up. Our morality will keep advancing forward in a linear motion. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. It's a pendulum. It goes left and right, and then when we go left, we realize, oh, hang on, we need to tweak these ideas. Looking out for all humans, having compassion is a good thing. But it is suicidal when other people, the so-called oppressed people, are not subscribing to the same ideas. If they act like this, even though they were oppressed 30, 40 years ago, if this is how they're going to behave, then sorry, compassion and empathy is suicidal. And we need to turn off our empathy and compassion just a little bit so we can put things into perspective and say, sorry, if you're going to behave like this, or if you're going to behave like this lunatic living in the West, then sorry, not going to fly.
And I will. I do apologise.
All right, what are you going to say? You're going to say, I'm sorry for knocking a Sikh's turban off. You're going to say now?
I'm sorry for knocking a Sikh's turban off.
And you won't ever do it again?
And I won't do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I do apologise.
Okay.
And you know the.
So that's what he did. He knocked this guy's turban off. Obviously a pathetic act, but these people should have gone to the police. Yeah, they should have gone to the police. If the police hadn't done anything, or they had done something, which I'm pretty sure they would have, they probably would have arrested this guy and thrown him in prison for, I don't know, 5 years or something. They would have done that. But at least you could say that, okay, they're doing something through legal channels. We would have still protested that maybe this is excessive, and obviously we'll find other cases where white people are being judged harshly when they are being victims of racial crime from other people. Then, but at least that would have been still more acceptable than this. They just turned up at his house, and of course he's going to. I don't know if he touched his feet or not. I hope not. I don't think he did. But yeah, sorry. Just to wrap it up, dear Sikhs, you shouldn't be collectively punished. Okay. And let me say that again, you have handled this situation much better than the Muslims, okay? Muslims never give out apology statements. And to be fair, they can't. Every week, there's a Muslim teeing off somewhere. Every week, something's going on. Just last week, while the world was busy with Henry Nowaks' murder, another gang in Bradford was sentenced to 300 years in prison for repeatedly R-ing a 14-year-old girl. So again, not a peep from anyone. Why? Because, you know, like even if they were apologizing every time a Muslim misbehaved, then that apology wouldn't mean anything either, because it's like, what are you guys doing? They didn't fix their culture. They didn't fix their society. Instead, they thought that maybe it's a good idea to gaslight and blame the mainstream society instead. That's what they thought. So you're not doing it, but at the same time, put a leash on these people, because whoever these people are acting tough online and maybe ganging up on some white person, or making out these statements, calling into radio shows and threatening violence, it may satisfy your itch. You know, you might say, oh yeah, I've kept my honor, yeah, we're not scared of anyone, but math ain't mathing. Okay, Punjabi Sikhs are very aggressive. Okay, just like Muslims, they're very aggressive. I haven't said this on my ever in my English stream, but on my Urdu channels, I have discussed that quite often. You know which culture, which religion kills people for blasphemy, more people for blasphemy after Muslims? Not the Buddhists, not the Hindus, definitely not the Christians. It's the Sikhs. So Sikhs can be very dogmatic. But as I said, this is not about collective punishment, but you better understand, you better know your place, because if you act like this, like the people that I showed you, then it's very easy. The far right, the ethno-nats, they are rubbing their hands over this opportunity. And there are a lot of people. Tommy Robinson is defending the Sikh community. I have always defending the Sikh community. But if you're going to make videos like this, if you're going to act tough, then this is a war you can never win. You can only hasten your demise along with the other community. You know who they are.